But according to the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, the Democratic roadblock won't work. He says he's very confident Judge Kavanaugh will be confirmed. Montana Senator Republican Steve Daines joins me now. Welcome to the show, Senator.
Thanks. Good to be here.
So how do you feel about this so far? What does your gut tell you about Thursday's dual testimony?
Let me tell you something. Set the stage here. I was in the East Wing of the White House on July 9th. That was the evening when President Trump revealed his pick, his nomination for the United States Supreme Court with Judge Kavanaugh and his wonderful family. Just hours after he revealed his pick, the Democratic leader, Chuck Schumer, was on television, and let me quote you what he said on July 9th. He says, "I'm going to fight this nomination with everything I've got." That's not exactly a call an open mind. And tell you what, they are doing that. This is a smear campaign. This is trial by tabloid. That's what's going on. There are no substantive allegations here. There is no corroborating evidence. There's no time. There's no place. There are no corroborating witnesses. And at that point, you say they don't have a case. And I'll tell you what, if you saw the letter that Judge Kavanaugh wrote in the last 48 hours, he is eager. He is eager to come before that committee on Thursday to clear his name, to clear the name of his family, and frankly, to clear the institution. This has absolutely been a blemish on the institution of the process, the Judiciary Committee, the United States Senate, and the Supreme Court.
It certainly is chaotic and distracting. The problem for Republicans, especially those sitting on the fence, specifically Jeff Flake, Susan Collins, and Lisa Murkowski, is Dr. Ford's testimony. Because if she comes across as credible, and if she connects with members of the committee, and more importantly, people who are watching at home, and if Judge Kavanaugh comes off as defensive, what does that do for his nomination?
Well, both sides need to be heard on Thursday. Keep in mind, Chairman Grassley of the Judiciary Committee has moved this hearing twice to accommodate Dr. Ford's lawyer's request. They've moved it to Thursday. Remember, Chuck Grassley offered to fly staff out to California to interview Dr. Ford face-to-face to make it as comfortable for her as possible. They've asked now for another delay. That's not going to happen. There will be a hearing on Thursday. Yes. We will have a chance to hear from Judge Kavanaugh. We'll have a chance to hear from Dr. Ford, as we should, and then we will vote.
All right, so is there anything that she could say in her testimony that would affect your vote for Judge Kavanaugh?
So I strongly stand with Judge Kavanaugh. I have spent time in my office one-on-one with him. I've heard about 65 different interviews he's already had with senators one-on-one, 307 opinions he's written over the last 12 years on the second highest court in the land. He has an impeccable record with the greatest amount of integrity. I will listen to the testimony of Dr. Ford and of Judge Kavanaugh.
What would you say
But there's not a single corroborating witness at this point. And so without specific time, place, and corroborating witnesses with these allegations, you don't have a case. We have a presumption of innocence in this nation.
I understand. There's no presumption of innocence for Democrats in regard to Judge Kavanaugh, but so much of this nomination now rests on their testimony on Thursday. What would you say to Susan Collins? Because it seems to all boil down to her vote, and it seems like she and Senator Murkowski are both wavering.
Well, let me tell you something. The attacks on Susan Collins that are coming from the left in Maine have been horrendous. And I compliment Susan Collins for staying above that. I have great respect for Senator Collins. She will have to evaluate what she hears. But again, every witness that Dr. Ford listed in that letter from July 30th that Senator Feinstein sat on, every witness has come back and said there's no corroborating evidence. They're saying, I don't know, Judge Kavanaugh. I have no recollection of that. So where are the witnesses here? So this will truly be, if Dr. Ford does come to testify, it'll be what Judge Kavanaugh says versus Dr. Ford. And we are a nation that assumes a presumption of innocence.
I agree with that. And I agree that a person has a right to answer their accuser. And, you know, it has to go in that order. Let me ask you this, though, and I want you to answer honestly. If there were iPhones when you were in college, would you be a senator?
I would.
Really? Nice. Why didn't the president nominate you for the Supreme Court?
You know, I'll tell you what, as my chief of staff said, He recommended you better burn your yearbooks now and maybe drown your iPhones for many young people today, but it's something there's permanent digital records. But I tell you what, I am grateful. Judge Kavanaugh, having served for 12 years on the second highest court in the land, that record speaks volumes.